Welcome to the Hybrid Real Estate Professional Podcast, where we dive deep into the intersection of career, family, and finances. Learn the mindsets, tips, and strategies to help you on your personal journey to build a life of abundance and purpose for you and your family. Now here's your host, Ameen. Welcome back to another episode of the Hybrid Real Estate Professional Podcast. Today is January 1st, 2024, the beginning of a new year. I hope you had a restful and fulfilling holiday. I just got done celebrating the first Hanukkah, Christmas, and New Year's with our 3-week-old twin boys and our 2-year-old daughter. Let's just say there's a lot of youthful energy in the Ameen household this year. Now, with every new year, we're tempted to take on a ton of new challenges and recreate ourselves. The problem is this oftentimes doesn't stick. Don't get me wrong, I'm a firm believer in setting audacious goals. As a matter of fact, I'm about to share mine with you on this episode. But I also believe that in order to hit your goals, you need to construct an environment and network to support you, or else you'll fall into the masses who abandon their New Year's resolutions by the 3rd week of January. With all that said, this podcast exists for 2 reasons. Number 1, to support you on your journey to achieve a life of abundance for you and your families through real estate investing. And number 2, to share my journey and perspective so you can learn from my experience, both good and bad. Today, I'm going to share what I'm focusing on in 2024, starting today. Now, most people in real estate have heard of Jay Papasan and Gary Keller's book called The One Thing. The premise of this book is as follows. Extraordinary results are directly determined by how narrow you can make your focus. They press upon this idea by suggesting we all ask ourselves a single question every morning. What is the one thing I can do such that by doing it, everything else will be easier or unnecessary? Now remember, this show is called the Hybrid Real Estate Professional Podcast. By definition, a hybrid professional has multiple professional identities on top of their personal identities. Suffice it to say, it's hard to pick one thing. But I challenge myself to do just that for the sake of focus. For those who know me, I have a reputation for having a strong bias for action. This is great at creating momentum, but momentum is not always productive if it is not grounded in focus. 2023 was a year of enormous action. I started a coaching business. I moved across the country. My wife and I brought twins into the world, for God's sake. We sold our first rental property. We bought another primary property. We turned an old primary property into a rental, and I was promoted into a new demanding job. There's a lot that I'm proud of in that mix, but one thing that eluded me the whole year was a true sense of focus. In that spirit, I'm going to kick off this year with a more clear definition of my one thing. So what is my one thing? My coaching business and online community. In September of 2023, I announced that I was starting my real estate investment coaching business. Within a day of the announcement, I had my first client. I slowly built this up over the final months of the year on the side of my job and family obligations. I'll be honest, some of this was a test to see if this was really something I wanted to do. I've always had a passion for working with people one-on-one, but there were some limiting beliefs I had to conquer. Am I qualified? Will people actually be willing to pay me? These are all fair questions to ask, and anybody who says they don't have those thoughts when they're starting a new business are clearly lying to you. But once I started working with that first client, I knew that I wanted coaching to be a part of my life for the long term. Now keep in mind, I still have a full-time job, 3 kids under the age of 3, and a real estate portfolio to manage. I am grateful to have 3 recurring clients working through my 12-week accelerator on how to buy their first rental property. But I also recognize that I can't scale beyond 3 without compromising in other important areas of my life. Enter my newest endeavor and the answer to this problem, the Remote Real Estate Academy. Over the past 2 years, I'm lucky to have built a relationship with another successful family-oriented real estate investor named Nathan Murith. You may recognize him. He was a previous guest on my podcast. He is also a coach, an educator, and a mentor for new real estate investors. We discovered we were walking parallel paths in what we were trying to build, so we decided to team up instead of competing with each other. The Remote Real Estate Academy is meant to serve both new and existing investors by compiling all the information Nathan and I have learned over our cumulative 10+ years and 20+ properties of investing experience. We have been building out course materials, playbooks, and templates in the background over the past 2 months. and we're launching our first group cohort on January 15th. This pilot group will help us review and validate the course material while also driving each student to start building their own successful real estate portfolio. The plan from there is to open this up to a broader group and continue to feed ongoing value through coaching, a community of like-minded investors, and even opportunities to partner on investments with us directly. As you can imagine, there's a lot of work that goes into building a successful community that is truly valuable to its members. I don't take that responsibility lightly, and I know that to deliver a white glove experience requires my full focus and attention. With that said, my one thing for the foreseeable future is going to be building Remote Real Estate Academy into the most valuable community possible for real estate investors who want to invest anywhere in the US. Does this mean I don't also have other goals? Absolutely not. I have goals in my family, my career, my health, and finances. These goals don't just go away, nor are they even less important, but it all harkens back to Gary and Jay's question from The One Thing. What's the one thing I can do such that by doing it, everything else will be easier or unnecessary? To me, activating this community, creating value for other investors, and building additional income along the way will make everything else in my life easier. So that is what I plan to do. I want to thank you for taking a few minutes to kick off the new year with me. I wish you all the best as you embark on a happy, healthy, and fruitful 2024. If you're interested in joining the Remote Real Estate Academy, drop me a message on X, LinkedIn, Instagram, or at hello@remoterealestateacademy.com. I hope to see you in there.